And Devon, I'm going to ask you questions. Because, guys, you've never seen a fish like this. Oh my gosh. What could it be? What could it be? Oh!
I made a text-based RPG in Minecraft. It features 2 distinct moral paths, turn-based combat, and dark and mysterious secrets better left unsolved. But how and why did I ever make this game? Well, it all started with a very real conversation I had with Avid MC. Hey Avid, I heard you're hosting ACC3, a community event where participants try to make a boss fight in under a month.
Aha!
Huh? What's that? Keep it professional. I heard it also has to be consistent with your lore, including 2 paths, one light, one dark.
Oh!
Thanks, Avid. I am handsome.
Wait, is that it?
But what are we actually making? Of course, we'll be making a boss fight with all the aforementioned requirements, but there'll be a few mechanics that set us apart from all the other contestants. The light path of our boss fight will be using turn-based combat, similar to that of Pokemon or Dragon Quest, while in the dark path, you'll be taking the pacifist route. You'll have to navigate a series of dialogue-based puzzles and try to convince your enemy not to kill you. And finally, I don't want to spoil too much, but there is one more twist. While the environment and world may change around them, the player will not be able to move an inch. The first thing we worked on was, you guessed it, the menu. A main part of our game will be replayability and exploring the different options, so we need a place for the player to reset so they can start the game again. Definitely not because I just want to use these cool holographic buttons. Oh my god. If the player wins or loses, they'll respawn exactly at this state. After that, I started working on animation. But I'm pretty new to this, so like a nostalgic Pixar fan, I needed backup. Hey Josh, how do I use animated Java? Thank you, Josh. I am handsome. Guys, I've never played Metal Gear Solid. Wait. Okay. From there, work was pretty steady. Depending on if you were in the light or dark path, the boss bar would either be filling up or depleting. I also made sure to iron out the text box system. When certain conditions were fulfilled, hidden options would become available. This would be absolutely mandatory for the puzzle sections of the game. For combat, I also made sure to add an upkeep sequence. Doing so would allow me to resolve custom time-based effects like, say, poison. It's around this time that we finally started building the map. But check this shit out. Since the entire game is entirely from one spot, we don't have to build anything than what we see from that one spot. Convenient design? Maybe. But it also makes for some really cool opportunities. Like I knew I wanted this arch partially in the player's view, and these little shaded areas over in the rocky bits of our island. Up close, it looks a little rough, but farther away from our spot, it provides some nice shading on the very gray areas of our island. Now, there were only a few days left in the competition, but we were making good time, so we're almost done. We just needed some polish as well as an intro sequence. Part of it was actually in the intro to this video. This intro actually represents something pretty key for the design of this game. Although the main ways in which the player interacts with the game is through a text-based RPG, the game is loaded with riddles and secrets and puzzles, and it's really hard to teach the player how to play the game without just telling them how to solve the puzzle. So without spoiling too much, the intro has a few key things. One is that the player spawns in with a fishing rod. This is the player's only starting item, and it has a bit of lore text that implies what it might be used for. The second is that the player feels pretty restricted. They of course cannot move from the original spot that we were talking about earlier. And the third is that their only instruction is the fact that they have an item, they cannot move, and there are strange bubbles bubbling up in front of them. The idea is to, yes, have a little bit of confusion at the start, but within their constraints, within the very limited array of choices they currently have, they'll be able to start experimenting in which ways they can interact with the game. And it's that explorative, experimental nature that I want to emphasize to create really fun moments of discovery. We had done it. We submitted just before the deadline, and all that was left was to wait to be judged. So, how'd we do? Looking back now, I can say we did pretty well. But at the time, I couldn't see it. There was only one thing on my mind. And it's true. I didn't win. There were incredible submissions everywhere, and I'm not going to argue otherwise. But I did want to speak to the nature of success. At the start of this competition, I set out fully intending to win. And when I didn't, it crushed me. Much more than it should have. Definitely much more than it should have. And while I didn't win, I still had several other goals. Animation, unique gameplay, story, a fun experience. What I've learned is that you can't deprive yourself of the tiny victories, especially the tiny victories. And especially in a zero-sum game where the binary of win and loss can be crushing. Acknowledging your own efforts will be what sustains you. If I were to give up every time I got rejected from a job interview, after I got a failing grade, or every time I didn't get first place in a Minecraft map jam hosted by a friend, I wouldn't have much left. Luckily, life is a little more complex than that. There are countless tiny challenges, countless tiny victories. Don't forget to take notice.
I'm not ever gonna die. I'm just gonna fantasize forever.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. My name has been Devon, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.